So I hope you are feeling the New Year vibes already. And on the occasion of New Year, the Drishti IAS has bought a sale for you, that is New Year sale, and we are offering 50% discount from 21st to 31st December on all our online pen drive and the test series. Other than that, we will be offering 25% discount on all the books and DLPs. So you can download the Drishti Learning app and avail the discount, or you can call on this number, that is 87501 87501. Other than that, there will be a link which is given in the description. You can click on that to avail the offer. Okay, so enjoy the New Year sale. Now let's move further and let's start today's discussion, that is our Indian Express. So obviously you know me, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we'll be discussing the Indian Express newspaper of the day. So here some of the important things are there. Today when we are talking about the this particular day, we realized that we have lost one of the eminent personality in the field of economics, as well as our former Prime Minister, that is Mr. Manan Singh. Okay, so here you can see Dr. Singh walks into history. So it will not be a justice, without going, going further without giving a reference to him. But we will not be able to cover everything he has done in his lifetime. So we will be coming up with, a program that is in news. In news program, we will be discussing about the economic policies of Dr. Singh. And other than that, we will be looking into some of the important, you can say, development which has happened during his time period, where when he was maybe RBI governor or the finance minister or the prime minister of our country. So we will be talking about all these things. Other than that, we will be talking about the China's dam on Brahmaputra. China is building world's largest dam on the Brahmaputra. Okay, they have approved it. Now we will be seeing that what are the concerns, what is the project. First we will be looking at the location. We will be seeing that what are the concerns with respect to this particular project. Okay, then moving further, Kazan Declaration. When we talk about the 16th BRICS summit which happened in Kazan, though it has happened earlier, but we will be talking about this Kazan Declaration because it was in the newspaper today. So I have taken few things from that and we will be talking about that. Okay, so if you are writing an answer on the BRICS or something, you can mention these things over there. Okay, here this page over here, you will be seeing that Dr. Singh walks into history. He opened India to the world. They are talking about the economic liberalization. Okay, set the stage for the seat at the global high table. Here you can say foundation of the new India to be set. He said before 1991 budget. This is the time when we have gone for the LPG reforms. Okay, so we will be talking about these factors over here. After that, after this particular outline discussion, we will be talking about the fact of the day and the geography through maps. So let's start with the first thing, that is the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. Which was the only Congress session presided over by Mahatma Gandhi? As I told you, Belgaum session was the only session, okay, which was presided by Mahatma Gandhi in 1924. This is important from your modern history's point of view. Okay, now let's move further, and these are the courses which we are offering at our different centers. So you can see the timing and the dates over here. And when we are talking about the Noida center, that is 9th of January for English medium, 16th of January for Hindi medium. At Prayagraj English medium at 2nd of January, Jaipur English medium at 16th of January. Okay, so you can actually visit the center, or you can call on this number, that is 87501 87501. Okay, now let's move further and see fact of the day. Now here we will be talking about the Sagur Initiative. Okay, that is security and growth for all in the region vision. Now when we are talking about the Sagur vision or the Sagur Initiative, that is pioneered by India. Okay, but it is in the neighborhood when we are talking about the Indian Ocean region. Okay, so considering the footprints of China which is increasing, other than that also the issues with respect to the security and the maritime security in other cooperation level issues, so they have come up with this idea. Okay, so let's see. It was launched in 2015 for the regional security, sustainable growth and the cooperation in the Indian Ocean region. This is simple fact which you can remember. Coming to the next one, what are the core principle over here? Now we are talking about our neighborhood. Now first principle here should be the trust. Okay, so trust, respect for the maritime norms, regional sensitivity, and the peaceful dispute resolution and cooperation. Now these are some of the general, you can say, features which are there when we are talking about our regional or the neighborhood policies, etc. These are the common features which are there. Okay, coming to the next one, aligns with the India's Act East policy and the neighborhood first policy. As I told you, we are there in our vicinity, so our you can say prospects here are same, or the core principle which are acting over here will be same. So you must have heard about the Act East policy, you must have heard about the Look East policy. Okay, earlier there was this in 1990s, if we talk about, we had the Look East policy. Then when we talk about the 2014, we came up with the Act East policy. Now when we talk about the Act East policy, it has a broader area of coverage. Okay, so it has expanded till you can say the far side of the Russia as well. Okay, far side of the east, so that is there. Other than that, also the cooperation, or the you can say the aim and the goals were changed. Earlier we were looking towards them, and now we are proactively working in this area when we are talking about the foreign policy with respect to the east. Okay, so that is there. Coming to the next one, significance of the IUR for Indian Ocean region for India. Now this significance I don't have to tell you, because obviously we are looking for, when we are looking for this particular area, first it is important for the maritime trade. Okay, other than that also there are various neighboring countries, island countries which are there, and it is important for us to make sure that they are not falling for a trap which is laid by China. Okay, now you must have heard about the string of pearl policies, etc. So considering that, it is important that we have an influence in this particular area. Now here, economic vitality, 95% of the India's trade by volume and 68% by the value, it is happening through this particular route. Okay, so as I told you, maritime trade is one of the factors. Strategic leverage, controls key maritime choke points, that is Strait of Malacca, boosting the trade security. Most of China's trade is passing through this Strait of Malacca. Other than that also, our trade towards the east is passing through Strait of Malacca. Okay, coming to the next one, defense shield enhances naval security against the piracy and the threat. This thing, when we are talking about the off African coast, that is Somalia, etc., the issue of piracy and threats are there. So considering that also, that is a defense shield. When we are talking about India, India is the, you can say, first responder in the country, in this particular area, and we are kind of trying to become a security provider in this region as well. Okay, then regional influence, strengthen India's role in the South Asia and the Indo-Pacific, wherein we want that our role should be highlighted and China's role should be limited. Okay, so that is about the Sagur Initiative. Okay, now we can move to the next part, that is geography through maps. We have discussed the Trans Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Now we will be talking about the you can say Purvanchal hills. Okay, before that, last time I could not give a write up on the Shivaliks. This is given over here, so you can go through this, and now we will be talking about the Purvanchal hills. Now when we are talking about the Purvanchal hills, simple it is that in the eastern region, okay, or in the Purva, that is basically you can say there is a chain of hills or the mountains which is there, mountain ranges are there. These are called as basically your Purvanchals. Okay, now here you can say from Arunachal Pradesh and then coming to the other northeastern regions, we are having these hills. So here you will be seeing that Patkai Bum is there, Naga hills, Manipur hills, Lushai hills, Mizo hills. These hills which are there, these are considered as the Purvanchal hills. Now when we are talking about the Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, they are also considered as the Purvanchal hills, but I would not say that these are part of Himalayas, because this is generally the part of the peninsular plateau. Okay, so you can say, because this is a plateau region, so I can say that it is a part of the peninsular plateau which is being actually you can say cut out because of the Garo Rajmahal gap. Okay, we will be talking about that when we will be talking about other features as well. Okay, so here Patkai Bum, Naga hills, Manipur hill, Lushai hill. Okay, so these hills are prominent over here. Here you can see the Purvanchal hills are the range of hills in the northeastern India located in the Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. Okay, now it does not matter that the Manipur hills and the Mizo hills are not part. These are the prominent states which are there. Now coming to the next one, Purvanchal means the eastern mountains in Hindi and refers to the region's location in the east of the Gangetic rivers. Okay, coming to the next one, hills are known for their scenic beauty, rich biodiversity and the tribal communities. Dafla hills, Patkai hills, Mishmi hills are some of the major ranges. Important Purvanchal hills are Dafla, Abor, Mishmi, Patkai Bum, Mikir hills, Barail hills, Naga hills, Lushai hills, Mizo and the Lushai hills. Lushai has been repeated over here. So here you can see we have this you can say Abor, Mishmi, Patkai Bum, Naga hills, Manipur hill, Lushai hills or Mizo hills. Okay, I hope that is clear. These are your Purvanchal hills. Now we have talked about Himalayas. Now we will be moving to the next part, that is the Gangetic plains. Okay, so in the next you can say video, we will be starting with the Gangetic plains. Okay, now these are for your revisions. This is something which should be there in your mind when you are talking about, let's say, Himalayas. This much should be there. This is something which you cannot forget at any cost. Okay, so this is why we are having this particular series. Now let's move further and start with the first part of the discussion, that is Manmohan Singh walks into history, opened India to the world, sets stage for the seat at the global high table. Okay, Manmohan Singh, former prime minister and the architect of the economic reforms, passes at 92. That is one thing. Economic reforms, you know that in 1991 we have gone through the BOP crisis, balance of payment crisis. We will be talking about that, and he has actually revived the economy, or you can say he has gone for the economic reforms. The policy was designed by him, and it was under the PM Narasimha Rao. Okay, so he has gone for the you can say economic reforms in 1991. Economist, RBI governor, finance minister, PM, he wore many hats. Okay, that is the kind of status of him, because the kind of intellect he has, he made him, you know, governor of RBI, then finance minister for a time, then prime minister of our country. Okay, then the PM who risked his government over nuclear deal with America. So this is one of the article which is there. Now let's move further and see some of the aspects over here. Now here we are talking about the I'll be not going into details of all these things, because each topic here, when we are talking about the LPG reforms, when we talk about the banking reforms, when we talk about the inflation related policies, or when we talk about the license Raj, when we talk about the MRTP Act, etc., these are itself a long discussions. Okay, so I'll be giving you a passing reference to that. Okay, so first we are talking about the mid 1991, when we have, you know, felt that we will be going for the BOP crisis. Now what is BOP crisis? At that point of time, India was a India, it is still is a developing country, but at that point of time we were, you know, struggling with the imports and the exports. We were trying to, you know, become a economy which can export, but still our imports were very high. Okay, so that is one thing. Imports were high, exports were less, and because of which there was this, you know, balance of payment crisis, because when imports are high, that means that you have to pay. Okay, you have to pay in the foreign currency. Now when you have to pay, from where you will be paying? You will be paying for the forex reserve. Now forex reserve was not at that point of time, we will be saying that was not up to mark. Okay, and because of which we could not, we thought that we won't be able to, you know, fulfill the debt requirements, or we might go for the default as well. At that point of time, he has strategized everything, and then we have gone for the IMF loans. We have taken loan from the, you know, banks in UK as well. Okay, Switzerland as well. So considering that, we have tried to manage the situation at that point of time when we were going for the BOP crisis. Now when we gone to IMF for the loan, IMF has put certain conditions that you have to go for the LPG reforms, or you have to open the economy. So he has actually made a framework with respect to the opening the economy, or you know that as a liberalization, privatization and the globalization reforms, LPG reforms. Okay, so that happened under his you can say leadership. Okay. Okay, so anyways, here sign of the payments, we have seen that at that point of time we were about to default, but he has made these policies, and ultimately with the opening of the economy, now we are fastest growing economy in the world. Okay, so that is his contribution, you can say. Now here you can say the famous 1991 budget unveiled by the Manmohan Singh was a major event that turned the course of the country for the fortunes. So that is the, they are talking about the LPG reforms over here. Then coming to the next one, rupee devaluation done in two tranches, 9% and the 10% in the quick succession matter of the 3 days. Okay, so that is devaluation policies. He has gone for the rupee devaluations as well. Then coming to the next one, that is the new industrial policy resolution. Now at that point of time, we had this term which was used, that is license Raj. License Raj. So he basically made sure that we are doing away with that. Okay, so that was one of the thing, and he has opened the markets as well. Here you can see abolition of the most trade license, providing freedom to enterprises, opening up the country to FDI, okay, foreign direct investment, because since we are opening our economy, so obviously we are opening our economy for the trade as well as for the investment. Okay, then thereby deregulating the industrial sector. The new industrial policy was presented along with the budget on July 1991. So that is also one of the thing, you can say that that is kind of a liberalization which has happened through this new industrial policy. Coming to the next one, full convertibility on the current account. Now we have the current account and the capital account. If we are talking about the long term transactions, that is basically your capital account, and when we are talking about the small term transactions, that is your current account. Okay, so when we are talking about the convertibility, let's say if there is a dollar which was invested in India, okay, and then we are saying that how frequent or how easily you can convert this dollar into rupee, or you can say how easily you can enter into a market or how easily you can leave the market. Okay, so when we are talking about the capital account or the long term investments like FDI, okay, foreign direct investment, so we do not have a full convertibility. Okay, so there are some of the restrictions which are there. You have to follow a particular process before leaving the country, so that is the capital account convertibility. And then if we are having the small term investment, where the you can say you don't have to wait a long time for the taking away the money. So let's say there is some company who has invested some money in the you can say portfolio investments, and then if they are leaving the country and they do not have to wait a lot, that is the you can say current account convertibility. So in India we have current account convertibility, but we do not have the capital account convertibility. So large amount of investment cannot get out of India overnight, because of which what can happen is that if a lot of dollars are going out of the economy, that can actually trigger a crisis. Okay, so that is why we do not have a capital account convertibility, but we have a current account convertibility. So he has been the person behind the current account convertibility. Now monopolies and the restrictive trade practices under the MRTP was repealed to eliminate the need for the prior approval for capacity expansion by the companies. Now if company is going for any kind of investment, earlier they used to take permission from the MRTP. Under the MRTP Act they have to take the permission. Okay, but then here he has done away with that particular thing as well. Banking reforms he has done, and after that the public listing of the banks etc. that was done by him. Disinvestment was of the PSUs was done by him. So that is the privatization we were talking about. Okay, then foreign institutional investors allowed to invest in Indian stock market for the first time. Okay, so this is your portfolio investment, you can say. Then coming to the market regulators, like SEBI was given more power to regulate the capital market. This is to ensure that capital markets there are not much speculations, and the unfair practices are not there in the capital market. So this is some of the achievements or some of the you can say work which was done by our former Prime Minister, that is Manan Singh. Now this is enough for our discussion as of now, and in the news program you will be seeing more discussion on this aspect. Okay, in news today. Now let's move further. Talking about the China approves world's largest dam on Brahmaputra river near border with the India at a cost of 137 billion. Now we have seen that recently there was this talks which were going on with India and China, and that was going on a good note, and now China is saying that they are actually going for the world's largest dam. China has this thing that they keep poking. Okay, so now with this particular project being approved, there are chances that there will be some kind of strains in the relation between India and China, because Brahmaputra is a river which is basically ultimately coming into India. Okay, now when we are talking about the Tibet region, we have this Yarlung Sangpo river. Okay, now that is the river which when it enters into India, it becomes Siang and then comes to the after Arunachal Pradesh, that is Brahmaputra. Okay, so basically if you are creating, let's say this is how it is entering into India. Okay, so this is the area of Tibet, and then this is the area of Arunachal Pradesh from which it will be entering into India. Now this is Yarlung Sangpo over here. Now they are building a dam over here. Now if they are building a dam over here, that means that there will be some kind of less water which will be coming over here, or they can control the water from over here. Okay, so when we are talking about the northeastern region, Brahmaputra is quite important for India as well as for the Bangladesh. Now if you are putting a dam over here, that means that you might be in a position where you can control the water requirements. Okay, so that is the concern for India and Bangladesh. So let's see some of the specifics about this particular project. Okay, now China's dam on the Brahmaputra river project overview. If we are talking about, China approves constructing the world's largest dam on Brahmaputra or Yarlung Sangpo river in Tibet. Estimate cost is 137 billion US. Strategic implication when we are talking about, so it is located near the Indian border, raising concerns for India and Bangladesh over the water security and the potential flooding. Now here you can see, this is the map. Here you can see this is the Yarlung Sangpo. Okay, and then in Arunachal Pradesh it is entering India till this particular part that is considered as Siang river. Okay, this is Yarlung Sangpo, then Siang river, and then this is your Brahmaputra river. Ultimately it will be going into Bangladesh. Okay, so here you can see that if you are going for a dam over here, see this is the location of the dam, and they are going for the 4 projects over here: Dagu, Jiangsu, Zangmu and Jiasa. Okay, so these are the 4 projects which are over here. Now, if you are having this kind of capacity that you can hold the water over here, that is one thing that will threat the water security in the lower riparian areas. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing is that if you suddenly open the gates of this particular dam, if you are storing the water and suddenly opens the dam over here, or if there is surplus rainfall, and because of which this dam break down, so these are the area which will be at the risk of flooding. Okay, so that is one of the issue. Now, this Brahmaputra river has always been the interest point for China, because you can see nearly 65% of the Brahmaputra or even more that is flowing in the Tibet region or the China. As of now, de facto control is of China, so we can say that is there in China. Okay, but China cannot take advantage of this water because of the harsh geography of this region. This region is basically mountainous or the hilly area, you can say, and they are having steep slopes, and because of which China cannot hold the water here, because they do not have the plain area to store the water. That is why, because of the geography, all the water is coming into Arunachal Pradesh, and this is the area where most of the water is getting stored. Okay, and that is why China has trouble. That is the one of the reason you will be seeing that China always want to capture this region of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, you will be seeing that China has gone for the aggression in the, you can say, Lhasa area, etc., and China will be going for the aggression in the areas of Arunachal Pradesh, etc. So you will be seeing that. Why is that they are doing it? Because in this region they want to have a control, so that they can control the water of or the storage of the Brahmaputra river. Okay, so here you can use a term that is the hydro diplomacy. Now, if you are talking about such things, we have commissions which are there, which are talking about the hydro diplomacy with China. But the thing is, if they are going for some coercive actions like this thing, when we are talking about the aggression on the Arunachal border, so that becomes the border issue as well. Okay, but the thing is, it is all being derived because of the China's interest in the Brahmaputra river. Okay, so that is about this particular thing over here. Strategic implication we have already seen. Now we can move further to the next one, that is features. The dam will be in the Himalayan region where the Brahmaputra takes a U-turn into Arunachal Pradesh. Here you can see that here Brahmaputra actually takes a U-turn. This is how it is going, then it takes a U-turn, and then it is coming like this. Okay, so they are making a dam over here on this particular U-turn. Okay, so expected to generate 300 billion kilowatt hour of electricity annually, benefiting over 300 million people. So that is about China's point of view. Concern for India: possible impact on the downstream water flow and the ecological balance, threat of using the water as a geopolitical tool during the conflicts. That is the most important hurdle for India, because if China has a control over this particular area, that means that they can control the water in the northeastern region, and if there is a geopolitical situation, if there is some kind of conflict between China and India, they can stop the water. Okay, similar stand can be there in the Indus Water Treaty. India can also stop the water for of the Indian Indus Water Treaty, but India will not go for such things. Okay, because we believe that we should not go for such policies, but China, we cannot trust China. Okay, so that is the implication of this particular project which we have discussed over here. So concerns are important, and the location of the project is important. Now coming to the next one, 16th BRICS Summit or the Kazan Summit over here. So we will be going through the key outcomes of the, you can say, Russia's chairmanship in 2024, where we are talking about the next will be happening in 2025. That will be under, you can say, Brazil. Okay, that will be under Brazil. So please remember that. Now coming to the 16th BRICS Summit, it was held in Kazan in Russia, marked the culmination of Russia's chairmanship of the BRICS for a year. New BRICS members, if we are talking about, so recently you know that there are 4 members which has been added. Okay, 4 members has been added, and now they will be focusing on the smooth entrance of these particular members. Emphasis on expanding the group with a new members joining smoothly. Focus on mutual respect, cooperation, and the safeguarding the interest of the all members. Now why is that we are going for the expanding the BRICS? We are going for the BRICS plus. That means that we are expanding the BRICS. Why is that? Because China, if we consider, or China and Russia, they are trying to create an alternative infrastructure against the West. Okay, now India does not have something against the West, but obviously India had this earlier. When we are talking about, there was this RIC axis. Okay, when India USA relations were not very good, then we had good relations with Russia, China and India. So this RIC axis was there. Okay, then after that the Brazil joined, and then South America also joined. Okay, so we became BRICS. Now in this particular region, it is a regional organization if we are talking about, but later on you can see that it has been expanded. Okay, now we are going for the further expansion, so that more and more you can say cooperation can be generated over here. So now there are 4 countries which has joined. We'll be talking about them as well. Okay, so now we are going for the BRICS plus outfit. Okay, so here you can see these are the original member: BRICS, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Okay, I might have told South America, that is slip of tongue. This is South Africa. And then new members if we are talking about, so here you can see UAE, Egypt, Ethiopia and Iran. They have actually joined as a new member. Now invites were sent to Saudi Arabia as well as Argentina. Saudi Arabia did not respond. Argentina said we will not be joining. Okay, so these are the 4 members who has joined. So right now if we are talking about, there are total 9 members in BRICS. Okay, now here you can see next is the Kazan Declaration. Okay, reaffirm the commitment to the democratic and the inclusive global governance. That is one thing, that is some general things which we have to talk and which you have to reproduce in the examination as well. Okay, then here you can see advocate against the unilateral sanctions for the collective decision making. Then key achievements if we are talking about this particular summit, that is BRICS grain exchange. Okay, now when we are talking about the trade in commodities, they will be going for the grain exchange. Okay, so this is one of the key element which has been discussed over here. They will not ask you about the details of what is grain exchange, but if you mention this, that there was a grain exchange or you can say some kind of initiative which has been taken in the BRICS, so that will be very important, or in the prelims they can ask you this. Okay, coming to the next one, establishment of the geological and the investment platforms. Now when we are talking about the geological platforms, this is related to surveys etc. And when we talk about the investment platform, that is to enhance the cooperation between the countries, economic cooperations. Other than that also, when we are talking about the other issues like terrorism, organized crime, illegal trafficking etc. So on all these things they have talked about. Other than that, they have talked about on the currency cooperations. Okay, other than that, they have said that they might go for the BRICS pay. Okay, but that is not yet materialized yet, but they are trying to create an alternative currency, and that is why USA's President Donald Trump threatened that if we are going for the alternative to the dollar, then there are high chances that they will impose sanctions on the BRICS as well. Okay, so that is something with respect to Kazan Declaration over here. And BRICS plus format, we have already discussed this, that they are encouraging broader dialogue with the partners from the non-BRICS states as well, promoted mutual collaborations in the trade and global issues, future prospects if we are talking about. So BRICS nation to explore the potential in the sectors like energy, logistics and the high technology, focus on enhancing the cultural, scientific and the sports collaborations. Now these are basically, when we are talking about the cultural, scientific and the sports collaboration, that is your soft power or the soft diplomacy. Okay, so that is their next chairmanship. I have already told you that will be under Brazil. Theme will be strengthening cooperation for sustainable development. Now this theme you can remember. You can tell me in the comment box that what was the theme for 2024. Okay, that you can tell me in the comment box. Now let's move further to the next one, that is India's oil demand surpasses that of China. Crude diversification efforts may gather steam. Now if you are talking about India, India is the 3rd largest, you can say, consumer of the oil. Okay, China is second, but we are seeing that in the upcoming year we might surpass China. Okay, we can become the second one. India's oil demand, if you talk about, India is the world's 3rd largest consumer of the oil. China remains the 2nd largest crude oil consumer, but slowing with the slowing growth, there are chances that India might surpass them. By 2024, India's oil demand growth rate is expected to surpass China's. Okay, so that is the important factor over here. Now projected demand increases due to the economic and the demographic growth. First of the economic growth, when we are talking about, so India is the fastest growing economy, so crude oil is one of the important factor, because we are not yet totally we cannot rely on the renewable energy or the electric energy etc. So that is why fossil fuel based fuel is still important for us. So crude oil is one of them. So that is the one thing with respect to economy, because if we are saying that we are fastest growing economy, so that means that industry would require the fuel. Okay, so that is one thing. Second is demographic growth. We are saying that by 2030 we will be having a demographic dividend. Okay, so for that also, if population is high, that means that there is a consumption which is there, and for the consumption you need to go for the production, and production will require again the oil. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, expanding the refining capacity, India is trying to expand our own refining capacity, and target is set to grow in 2025 with the commissioning of the new projects. Goal is to increase refining capacity to 450 million tons per annum by 2030. Okay, so that you can remember. Energy intensive growth expected to rise in the consumption due to the growing industries, vehicle sales and the aviation. India's low per capita energy consumption indicates potential for the future demand growth. Okay, still right now we are having a low per capita for fuel consumption, but since population is increasing, our living standards are increasing, there might be a chance that demand might grow in India. Now crude diversification, since we know that demand might grow, so we are going for the better options as well. So India is expanding its import source to the reduce dependence on the traditional suppliers. Who are the traditional suppliers? Gulf countries, Russia, etc. Okay, demographic engagement with Africa and the Latin America aims to diversify the oil imports. Reliance on Russia, West Asian countries persist, but with efforts to include alternative suppliers. So basically, when we are talking about the traditional suppliers, that is from the West Asian countries and the Russia. Now we are looking towards USA as well as the Latin America, African countries as well. Okay, so that is about this. Then Trump's China tariff could open 25 billion export window for India exporters. So this is nothing to discuss much, but I will be talking about one important things over here, that is basically your you can say there is this scheme here you can see, yes, interest equalization scheme. So we will be talking about that over here, but I will be giving a reference that what this particular article is talking about. So because of the potential trade war between USA and China, there are high chances that there is some alternative option which USA will be looking for. So when, if not China, then who? So there are chances that USA might look towards India. Okay, so that is one thing, because of which our trade might increase by 25 billion US dollars. That is one thing. Okay, but is there you can say threat? Yes, obviously there are countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, etc. These are actually doing good economically. Okay, they can be the alternative source, so that is also one of the threat. Other than that, in which area they will be going for the exports? So here you can say consumer electronics sector. US firms are moving away from China and they would be relying relying on the another countries. So when we are talking about India, India is good with the assembling phones, etc. So India can be the one destination. US firms are moving away from the reliance on Chinese companies due to the security and the trade concerns. India already is a prominent player in the mobile phone assembly, stands to benefit significantly as the global brand increasingly outsource the production to India. Okay, now other sectors like which is having substantial opportunities, that is textile, garments, toys, games and the chemical, footwear, furniture, each representing nearly 1 billion US dollar export potential. Okay, so that is there with respect to these sectors. Okay, now here you can see other sector, if we are talking about, okay, automotive component sector can also see some kind of growth over here in the exports. Then rising input and the freight cost have increased burden on the exporters. Now what is happening is that this is fine, that these are the areas wherein we can go for the exports, but because of the crisis, geopolitical crisis which are there, okay, because of which the freight cost or the transportation cost has increased. Okay, and because of which it is very difficult for the exporters to cope up with that, and that is why we have this interest equalization scheme as well. Okay, we will be talking about that. So that is there because of the geopolitical situations, there is rise in the prices. Here continued attack in the Red Sea is one of the cause we have seen, forcing global shipment lines to take a longer routes. Now IES is currently available only up to December 2024. We will be talking about this particular scheme. China and India, major competitor, offers extensive subsidies and the low interest financing. Now when we are talking about China, China has some of the policies which are basically offering, you can say, some kind of financial incentives for the exporters, and because of which they are having a, you can say, some kind of head start. Okay, so that is there, and considering that we have come up with the IES, we will be talking about that. Now additionally, if we talk about Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, these are the countries which might also take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, now let's talk about the interest equalization scheme. Provided financial support to the exporters by offering cheaper pre and post shipment export credit in rupees. Now export credit, that is simple, that they are giving some kind of loan. Okay, second thing is they are giving it pre and the post shipment. Pre shipment when you are in the production process, Let's say there is this order which has been confirmed by a foreign country, and now you have the order sheet, and then you go for the loan that I have to fulfill this order. Now please give me the loan. Okay, so banks will be going for your pre-shipment loans, that is there. Second is the post-shipment loans with respect to the time when the payments are not yet settled, but you have to give the payments to the domestic, you can say raw material from where you have gathered the raw material. So to them you have to pay, make the payment. So for that particular time period also post-shipment payment loan will also be given. Okay, so that is some kind of financial aid which is there, aims to help exporter compete internationally and improve export performance. Okay, since we are providing financial services to them, that might increase their competitiveness. Okay, then managed by the RBI and through public and private banks, it is monitored by DGFT, that is Directorate General of Foreign Trade, and RBI. Okay, so that is the two institutions which are related to this. Now what is the idea, what is the key feature? So they are giving you interest subsidies. If normally speaking, if there is the interest rate that is 10% for the loan, okay, they will be getting interest subsidies of like 2% for the merchant and the manufacturer exporters in 410 different identified categories. Okay, so that is there 2% you can say subsidy you will be getting, and for MSME sector you will be giving 3% subsidy. So net you can say rate of interest will be 8% or 7%, depending on the category. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, banks provide the subsidy to the eligible exporters and claim reimbursement from RBI. Exporters need to submit a certification from external auditor to claim the benefit. Okay, so you have to give a certificate from the external auditor. Other than that, they are saying that reimbursement will be there. So let's say bank is giving this 2% subsidy. Now this 2% will be reimbursed to bank by the RBI. Okay, now this burden is not on the banks, this burden is on the government. Okay, so that is your interest equalization scheme or the subsidy. Okay, so we have talked about this. I hope this is clear. Now we can move further to the next one, that is RBI forms committee for ethical embedment of AI in the financial sector. So basically they have made a committee of 8 members under Pushpak Bhattacharya, and they will be looking into the ethical aspect of the use of AI in the financial sector, in the banks, etc. So here you can say 8-member committee of the experts to develop a framework for responsible ethical enablement of the artificial intelligence. So that is FREEAI. Okay, so please remember this term. Okay, they might ask you this. Okay, this particular committee is under Pushpak Bhattacharya. Now what they will be doing, that they will be looking at the framework, how you can use the artificial intelligence in the financial sector. Okay, and whatever issues are there, how to you can say resolve them. So here you can see current level of the adoption of the AI in the financial services, global and India. Review the regulatory and the supervisory approaches on AI with focus on the financial sector globally. Identify the potential risk associated with the AI. Recommend an evaluation, mitigation and the monitoring framework for the risk which are there, and the consequent compliance requirement for the financial institutions including banks, non-banking financial companies, that is NBFCs, fintechs and payment system operators. So basically all the stakeholders which are related to the financial sector, they will be over here. Recommend a framework including the governance aspect of the responsible ethical adoption of AI models application in the domestic financial sector. So this is one of the thing. You just remember this FREEAI, free AI, and the company is under Pushpak Bhattacharya. Okay. Now let's move further to the next one. For your own read, there is this what is Ken Betwa river linking project, why it is controversial. Yesterday we have talked about this particular issue, and controversies are surrounding because of the deforestation. If there is a project, that means that you will be going for the cutting of the trees. Okay, so that is one concern by the environmentalist. Second is the hydrological concerns. This is the river which you are trying to link. Okay, river has their own courses, and if you are going against the geography, etc., so these hydrological concerns are there. So that is another thing. Displacement of the local population. Okay, so these are some of the concerns which has been discussed over here. Now this particular issue has been discussed in news yesterday. Okay, so you can go and watch that particular video from yesterday. And when we are talking about the next article for your own read, that is your Manmohan economics or Manmohanomics. Okay, so that is there. So you can go through this article, and otherwise you can watch the video in today's in news program. Okay, I hope that is clear. So that will be covered over there. Now in the end, there is one question for you. The Ken Betwa River Link project is associated with which of the following national park? Gir National Park, Jim Corbett National Park, Panna Tiger Reserve, or Ranthambore National Park. Here you can see national park or tiger reserve also you can say. Okay, the idea is to see that which of the following has the protected area which is impacting because of this particular project. Okay, so options are given. You can attempt the question and answer to be in the comment box. We have already discussed it yesterday. Okay, so someone has already given the answer. Yes, you are right. Okay, anyways, now with that I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.